What's going on, you guys? This is our active recovery day again for yoga. And I don't know about you guys, but I have been looking forward to this one all week long because I want to tap into breath work with you guys again for today. But we're actually going to start this off a little bit different than we have before. So instead of starting in our mountain pose, you guys know we've been doing a lot of like breath with movement and all the things. We're going to start actually lying down and we're going to focus on centering our mind, centering what we want out of this practice today. Then we're going to go through a slow practice of things. We're not going to do a whole lot of active movements. We're really just going to tap more so into how our body feels, what we need, and we'll go into some upper and some lower body of things more pose or position wise, but we're going to start lying down first. Okay. So first thing that I want you to do is if you do have a mat, we're going to face the short edge of the mat and we're going to lay down in this direction. All right. So if you want to go ahead and lay back however that you are comfortable. Okay. We're going to start with our knees bent. And just like we've talked about in different core movements of things, focusing on isolating our core to press our lower back into the mat. Okay. Now, with this, as we do this, we should feel that connection or almost like that tight, braced feeling with our core as we're pressing our lower back into the mat. And what I want you to do from here, similar to how we would whenever we start, we're going to go right into this, okay? Similar to how we would do whenever we start, we're going to bring our palms to the side right next to our left and our right side. Palms are going to be facing up, fingertips spread just like we would if we were standing in our mountain pose. And we're going to start with our breath here. So in the same way that you would standing, we're going to inhale through our nose to lift. Rising on that inhale, exhaling to release. Hearing and feeling our breath. Each time as you exhale, I want you to think about shifting that breath into all the way from your chest, your lungs, into your hips, and really like flowing through your lower body, but nothing else is going to move. This is more through imagery and through feeling and just taking note of how your body physically feels right now. All right. So we're going to continue this breath, inhaling through our nose, exhaling to release, sinking that weight in, continuing this flow, letting go of any type of judgment, competition, or expectation. Just giving ourselves what we need right here and right now. Laying down anything we don't want to carry into this practice today. And we're going to slowly take one last breath. And we're going to shift our knees from side to side in this windshield wiper almost position. All right. And we're slowly just going to take awareness of our lower body and how we feel. So as we come from the right back to center, checking in with that lower back, then moving to the left, back to center. And I want you to follow breath with movement through this. So I'm going to inhale from the side, exhale to the other. And then we're going to repeat this flow through. Continue on for 3 more breaths. Take note on how you feel on this last breath. Good. You're going to come back to center. Again, taking awareness of where you are. All right. Now we're going to drop our heels to the mat. I'm not as far back as I thought. We're going to drop our heels to the mat. And we're going to lie here in this position. Palms are going to be facing towards the ceiling. Fingertips or toes, excuse me, pointed up. All right, toes are pointed up towards the ceiling. Lower back is pressed into that mat. And we're going to get 3 breaths here. Shifting into that weight into our hips as we exhale. Full body awareness here. Last one. Good. Now you're going to bring both of your feet towards your glutes, essentially as if we were in a sit-up position, all right? We're going to go into our knees to chest. So lifting the right foot and then the left, we're going to grab behind our knees. We're not leaning up towards our knees, but we are just bringing our knees closer to our chest. Bringing the inside of our knees together to lightly press as we rotate towards our chest, as we're bringing our knees in as close as we can. But remember, we're not forcing anything here. Give your body what you can handle. Give yourself permission to just be relaxed in this movement and go to a point that is comfortable. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Last one. And I want you to take your hands out from behind your knees, wrap them in front of your knees. Again, 3 breaths here, squeezing those knees to our chest. Now we're going to slightly rotate from side to side, holding the front of our knees to give our lower back a little bit of that reach. For some, it may be easier if you release your hands, rotating from side to side here, letting your knees follow, focusing on pressing your lower back into the mat. Take note of your breath here, inhaling through your nose, exhaling to release through your mouth. All right, coming back to center, 1, squeeze 1 breath here. Now we're going to roll up, transitioning into our seated position here. Our palms go on top of our knees. Fingertips are still spread here. All right, we're going to bring our palms here, and we're going to start with our breath with movement as we transition into more of this meditation and reset pose here. All right, so we're going to inhale, bringing arms up, exhaling to release, inhaling again, hands come to heart center, exhaling to release again. And one last time. Good. Now we're going to bringing our knees up towards our chest. We're going to rotate onto all fours into our tabletop. All right. And as you come to your tabletop, I want you to take note of your alignment when it comes to, as always, our wrists to shoulders and our knees to our hips. Okay. Now from here, we're going to just take note of our breath. All right. So start by shifting your hips from side to side. One straight line, straight across. Just getting some awareness how we feel right now. Reconnect with that breath. Big hip circles here to the right. Keeping that same breath pattern, inhaling through your nose, exhaling to release through your mouth. Rotate to the opposite side, to the left. Coming back to center here, we're going to transition into our spinal balance. Now with this movement, we are going to raise our right arm and extend our left leg. All right. And we're going to hold it there for 3 breaths. All right. So we're going to begin with the right arm, left leg out straight, pointing toes to the mat, pointing fingertips straight out in front. All right. As we inhale to move, exhale to take 3 breaths here. Allowing our left hand and our right knee to keep us stable. Last breath here. Dropping back down to the mat. We're going to shift to the opposite side. So on that inhale to move, left arm comes out in front, right leg comes back, envisioning that straight line. Reaching out in front, but also reaching back with that right heel. Last breath here, staying focused and centered. Releasing to come back. Good. Now we're going to go into what's called cat and cow. So essentially, again, this is reconnecting breath to movement. So we're going to inhale to arch our back, bringing our belly button or our navel in. Exhaling to release. Gaze comes forward. The arch of our back goes towards the back wall, wherever that you are. Inhaling to arch. And exhale to release. 2 more breaths. Pressing into the mat as you exhale. Inhaling to rise. Exhaling to release. Coming back to center, we're going to bring our palms out in front of us, slightly widening our knees. We're going to press off of the mat. Chest comes down towards the mat to the floor. Forehead comes down to the mat. Pressing off of the mat with our hands extended out in front. Hips are back, going into this extended child's pose here. And as you keep the same breath with movement, inhaling through your nose and exhaling to release through your mouth, I want you to exhale, going a little bit deeper into this pose. Just reconnecting your mind, reconnecting your breath with where you are. Giving yourself permission to lay down anything that might be on your mind right now. If there's any sense of competition or pressure, allow yourself to move past it, keeping your mind open to taking whatever that you need from this practice. Just reconnecting here as your breath, as you're sinking a little bit deeper back into this pose. We're able to really connect with how our body feels, connect with where we are. One last breath here. Coming out of this extended child's pose, we're going to come up into our high plank. Coming up into our high plank. Now from here, we're going to go into our downward facing dog. So again, I'm pushing off of the mat with my palms, my hands that are out in front of me. And I'm going to bring my toes a little bit closer forward, but bending my knees and pressing off of the mat here. Holding for 2 breaths. Sinking a little bit farther in the pose with that exhale. Transitioning back into that high plank. Resetting 2 breaths here. Last one. Good. pressing off of the mat, knees are bent. Walk the hands back slightly, shifting the hips back. We're back in our downward facing dog for 2 breaths here. Shifting back into high plank, coming down onto our knees for our kneeling plank. Tops of our feet right onto the mat, not coming up on our toes. Okay, we want to give more of our weight to build that strength here in this kneeling plank. Now we're going to inhale to come all the way down, and we're going to exhale into cobra, and then we're going to come back into our kneeling plank. So we're going to inhale down, placing our elbows on the mat. We're going to exhale into cobra, holding here for 1 breath. Coming back down to the mat, hands come closer, coming back up into our kneeling plank. Tops of our feet drop to the mat. We've got 2 breaths here. Coming slowly back to the mat on that exhale, bringing our elbows down, lifting for cobra. 2 breaths here. Lower body is completely relaxed where you are. Again, just take note of your breath and how it's allowing you to feel. Coming back down to the mat, hands come back into the kneeling plank. Tops of our feet go back onto the top of the mat. 1 breath here. Last time, inhaling to drop. Elbows come down, exhale to release up into cobra. Exhaling back down. Hands come forward, back into high plank, all the way up from here. On that inhale, we're going to walk our hands forward to the short edge of the mat, slowly lifting, inhaling up, arms up. Exhaling to release into forward fold. Inhaling up. Exhale, swan dive down into forward fold, holding it here. Fingertips on the mat in front of your toes. Holding here. All 4 corners of our feet pressed into the floor of the mat. Go ahead and slowly rise out of forward fold. 1 last time. Inhale to lift up. Swan dive down. Exhale to release into forward fold. Taking 1 step back with the right foot, dropping our right knee. We're going to lift up and go into our left forward lunge. Now with this, we're going to have 3 different movements here, starting with the lifted position, bringing our hips towards the mat. So I want you to shift, bringing your hips forward, keeping that knee in alignment with the front of your toes. We're going to take 2 breaths here. Again, inhaling to lift, exhaling to release, going a little bit deeper. Last one. Slowly coming forward. Each hand we place on either side of that left foot. 2 full breaths here. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to release. Bringing that left arm up overhead, fingertips together, looking over the left shoulder to our fingertips on the left side. Two breaths here. Bringing that left arm back next to our side, slowly lifting with the left leg. Bringing the left heel into the mat. We're going to sweep down with our breath. So I'm keeping my toes pointed up. And I'm going to sweep down this way and come back up. So inhaling down. Exhaling to release. You should feel that in your calf muscle. Falling forward to our foot. One last breath. Good. Now we're going to switch sides either way. Now, we're going to go into our right side. We're going to do the same thing on this side that we did on our left. Before we go forward, I want you to make sure all four corners of your feet are pressed into your mat. We're going to shift our weight forward here, just bringing our hips forward, not thinking about our knee, not thinking about our foot. We're going to take 2 breaths here. One more time. Coming forward, one hand goes on either side of that foot. Last breath here. Good. Now we're going to take that left hand right next to our right foot. We're going to bring our right arm up overhead, looking over our right shoulder, up at our fingertips. 2 breaths here. Inhaling to lift. And exhale to release. One more time. And exhale to release. Bringing that other hand down, coming up off of that right side lunge. Toes are pointed up. We're going to sweep forward towards the right foot. Inhaling to come down and exhaling to release. Take note of how you're falling forward. 2 more breaths here. Last one. Good. Now we're going to slowly rise from this right side, coming back into facing the long edge of our mat. All right. And we're going to finish here in a standing position. So the first thing that we're going to transition into is our standing straddle split. So with this, again, we are breath with movement, hands up overhead to inhale, and exhaling to release, coming forward. Make sure that your toes are pointed towards the long edge of your mat. And we're going to do this for 3 breaths, holding in between. Let's do it. Coming forward, fingertips come to the mat or all hands. Slowly rise. Coming back into our inhale overhead. Exhale to release. Hands print into the mat or fingertips, whatever you're able. Slowly lift. Coming up on that inhale. Exhaling to release, falling forward. Good. Now slowly rise from here. We're going to point our right foot towards the short edge of our mat. We're going to go into our Warrior One, and we're going to finish with both Warrior One and Warrior Two today. So as you slightly shift your shoulders towards the right side, we're going to lift our arms up, going into that right side. Inhaling as we begin. Exhaling to release. Inhaling up. And exhaling to release. Last one. Inhale up. And exhale to release. Slowly dropping your arms. Straightening out that foot. Now we're going to go to the left side. Straight leg, straight foot, on the short edge of our mat to the left. We're going to rotate our shoulders to the left side. Arms come up overhead, strong and tall, going into that left side. We have 3 breaths here. Sinking into the pose with each breath. Last one. Slowly dropping our hands. For the sake of time for our practice, we're actually going to finish in our mountain pose now, as we can spend a little bit more time with our breath work. So I want you to bring your feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, having a good foundation. We're going to reconnect here as we finish today's practice. So what I want you to do is just clear your heart, clear your mind, and whatever that you need right now. I know you're coming out of this, and maybe this was a peaceful pause for you, however that you may feel. I want you to think about what you can take into the rest of your day with this practice. So we're going to inhale, lifting arms up from mountain. Exhaling to release back down. Inhaling up to lift. Exhaling back down. Bringing our palms to our side, facing forward. Fingertips are spread. We're going to finish here in our mountain pose, controlling our breath, controlling our mind, controlling the movement, the balance, the confidence that we have right now, and the strength. So again, we can do this either with eyes open or eyes closed. We're going to stay here for the last couple of minutes of today's practice. And all I want you to think about is what you need right now from this as you finish this off this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever that you are, whatever time that it is. As you go through and you're able to follow along, sinking more into the floor, into the ground as you exhale. Inhaling to lift up with confidence, exhaling to release anything you don't need right now. Choosing right now to just reconnect with your breath, taking this into your day today. Giving yourself this sense of peace and clarity, and love and respect for yourself and for your day. Just giving yourself anything you need right now. Now from here, we're going to close out with hands to heart center as we come up, arms up overhead to lift. Exhaling to release. One more time, inhaling up to lift and exhaling to release down. Hands to heart center on the last breath, inhaling up. Palms come together, down to heart center to release. And that is the end of our practice today. So a little bit different. I will close this out saying namaste. I feel like that is the like legendary ending to every practice. But I hope that you feel more connected with your breath, more connected with yourself, more connected with just your inner peace, and knowing that you are how you choose to respond to life. And breath work is something that can help in so many ways, but it helps us reconnect to ourselves. So I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm thankful for you. Let me know what you thought of this practice. I'm learning every session that we do. And so everything is helpful for me to gain more experience doing this with you all. So enjoy the rest of your day. Continue to stretch. Continue to go get your walk in, get your water in. Keep up with your same habits, even though we don't have a strength workout for today. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. So I love you. Enjoy your day. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for Full Body Friday.